Namaste, good morning, welcome. This is the Sunrise Sessions, and today we're going to talk about the fear of sharing your story. Small y, capital O-U-R. So this came as a quick little inspiration as I prepared for this little sunrise session. Of course, whenever you may be watching this, it could be any time of the day. It's always now. It's been raining here today, or overnight, so I'm going to stand today. But it came as a little bit of inspiration, and it might not be exactly what it sounds like. You know, the typical idea of sharing your story, maybe in a book or in a video like this. It's really talking about in a bigger picture, and so much of what we share here is always coming from a bigger picture. We deal with the details, and we deal with the dramas, and we deal with the challenges of the human, but it's always coming from a bigger picture. So that's why it's small y, capital O-U-R for it's our story. But why is there a fear of us sharing our story? So we can think of our as my life, this reality. Why is there this fear around this story? So I can tell you about this one, this little one. Um, I remember the first time I did a live video back in, oh my god, I think it might be 2017. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. It might have been 2018, 2017 or 2018. I was shaking. I was like, and I don't even know what it was. I think I can actually find it. I might be able to download it. But I was shaking. I was terrified. I was like, no idea what I was doing. All I knew was this force, this power, this energy was telling me to press live and just go and talk about something. And again, I don't know what it was, but I remember my hand shaking. I remember the fear. I think it was around telling people, because it was on Facebook at the time, and I'd gone through this crazy transformation, and there were so many people in my Facebook feed that had known me from my crazy party days, which was 20 years or more. It was much more. 20 years of full on, I would say, addiction to alcohol, um, and drugs, and all other sort of substances and things outside of myself. But and then there was this transformation, this continual transformation happening. And then I think I was going. I think the first video was to say, um, "You're probably wondering what has happened here," as I was, and I think I was sharing something about that. So I was sharing a little bit about my story because I'd gone through such a radical transformation from the drunken party DJ fun hedonistic being to talking about at that time breathwork and personal transformation and all of this sort of thing. But I was terrified. And so just the idea came today, why is there this fear of sharing our story? So in this time of social media, everybody, like there's a democratization, this word keeps coming, I don't know if that's the right word, but that's the word that's been given. There's a democratization of information, whereas when we were growing up, depending on what age you are, of course, you know, the TV and newspapers and books were the source of information. Now everybody can set up a social media profile and speak or write or blog or all of these things. There's ability to share your ideas, to share your story, very very easily and actually literally freely. Whereas before, this was dominated by print media, TV, movies, plays, that sort of thing. So now it's completely open. But why do so few? It is completely, of course, in developing countries and stuff like that. I'm not saying everybody. Of course, there's different levels and layers of it, but a large amount of people on the planet have the ability to share their story and share their ideas now, but relatively quite a few do. What do most do? So when we have access to these ideas, these, especially social media, what do we do? This one included. We share a tiny, small part of our life and our story that we deem good, possible, beautiful, the parts we like. You know, we if we're going to put a photograph, I'm going to say most people, I guess, probably not everyone, goodly is a good idea, but that if you're going to put a photograph up on social media, you'll pick the one where you look the best. You pick the one that looks the most beautiful. You pick the one that's got the beautiful background. Oh my God! Look at these birds. This beat just on time. The beautiful. Oh, is it going to get it? Don't know if you can see them. A beautiful formation of birds just came in a V as I was saying that. The beautiful beauty of nature appeared, and oh my God, so amazing. I'm just going to take a moment to just honor the miracle of our eyes. So these technologies are amazing, but what your eyes can see is just absolutely amazing. I can still see it. So it's a big formation of birds flying in a V, and then one takes turn to lead. And anyway, so what we normally do, uh, what most people do, I would say, you only put up the best photograph. You only put up the beautiful ones. You only put up the ones with the sunsets and you record the videos at the sea and the ocean and blah blah blah. You don't share the story of when you're got a headache, you're angry, you feel lost, you feel like you need something. Most people don't do that. Some do, and that's amazing. But why have we this fear of sharing our story, the fullness of our story? So if you didn't see the video last week of, I think it was last week, of Silent Soul Killer, go check out that video because that will give the Silent Soul Killers. It's because in religion, society, some philosophies, and society in general that is birthed from them, even in the most open ones, there's a fundamental belief that there's something wrong with us. There's this underlying core as more V birds fly over in their perfection. There's this fundamental, there's this core thing, and it's a function of the ego, that there's something wrong, there's something missing. So if we have that core, even it's subconscious, even it's not like overt, like I was making fun of the Roman real estate cult. See the Silent Soul Killers video for that. Um, you're born dirty, you're born in sin, you're born like there's something fundamentally wrong with you, and you have to do something in this life to make yourself okay. So when it comes to sharing your story, and we're just using sharing your story, but this could be sharing your ideas, sharing yourself vulnerably, sharing yourself when you are feeling low, and not only sharing yourself like an Instagram post. It's always the best makeup, the best scene, the best whatever. You know, it's because there's this fear and there's this idea that there's fundamentally something wrong. You can put in the comments below. Does any human live without at some stage feeling there's something wrong with me? There's something wrong with life. There is something that is not quite right. There's something that I need to fix. I need to improve this. I need to get better. I need to, in some way, improve this. It's like a fundamental core thing that we are unsatisfied with life, unsatisfied with ourselves. There's a core idea that there's something wrong and needs to be fixed. There's something missing that needs to be filled. There's something uh, that's not here. And so when it comes to sharing our story and sharing our ideas, when we come from that core idea that there's something missing, there's something wrong, then the fear of sharing our story, sharing our ideas, gets magnified. Because we're starting from a place of brokenness, even though we're not truly, but we're speaking relatively. We're speaking from a place of there's something wrong, and then the polarization of this is where we just post positive things. We only post when things are amazing. Wow, an energy field just passed through here. That was amazing between the phone and and this one. So we only post the beautiful things. We only post the absolute best photograph. We only talk about when things are going well. We only share when all the family's smiling and happy and their hair looks good. We only record videos when we're at the beach. We only I'm living in a tiny home for the last 6 months, and I would record videos in that place, but my wife and son are sleeping in that tiny home on wheels now, so that's why I'm here, just to even that up. But it is quite cool to do it here as well. So, wow, look at that. I know this phone's not going to catch them. There's more of these birds flying in their V formations. I know you can't see it. It's very annoying. Anyway, so if there's a fundamental idea, if there's a core belief, there's something wrong by religion, by philosophy, or by just society, there's going to be a fear of sharing your ideas. There's going to be a fear of sharing your story, because you're starting from, even though it's not true, we have this idea. You're starting from minus. You're starting from, I have to do, yes, so that's where we're going. The opposite, the polarization of that is where we put everything positive so that we can get a validation from others that I'm okay, that I am good enough, that I'm worthy. Because we have to fill this gap, the society, religion, and ego, ultimately, false thought, missing the mark of thought, missing the mark of who you are, is the belief that there's something I have to do to become worthy. There's something I have to do to become well, or and this is where this fear comes from, of sharing our story. And then, so the polarization of the overcompensating to get validation is the complete hermit, the complete hiding, and like switching off from all ways in which we can share. It's not just social media, all ways in which we can share our ideas, share our gifts, share our talents and treasures with the world. We go the opposite way, and then we hide, and we say, no, I need to be on my own. I'm going to hide. I'm going to stay away. So we always want to find the bigger picture and find the middle way. So the fear of sharing your story, sharing your ideas, sharing your being can be a fire for the fuel. And instead of going full hermit mode and disappearing and denying all technology, what is these bird V's telling me today? I don't know, but I'm seeing them every time. They're amazing. They're all flying west in their V formation. V for, what is it in this story? Let me know in the comments if you're getting something intuitive, because I don't know. Birds flying west in a V formation have appeared literally 5 times now. That was a smaller one. So instead of polarizing to hermit mode, or polarizing to posting everything that's perfect in the life, and when I say post, I'm just using social media because it's the easiest one. This could be, you never go out of the house without looking amazing. You're not going to go out without being dressed. That's the same idea as social media. You would never be seen with bedhead. Okay, let me see if I've got some bedhead. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here. We've got some bedhead sticking up the back. Let's bed hat head. You've got to leave it here. Um, so we want to find the bigger picture and find the middle way. Where can we find that middle way between hermit mode, which is sometimes good, and um, polarizing to post only perfection, or express only perfection, only when you're good, only speaking when you feel confident, only showing up when you're looking well, and your hair's looking good, your clothes. I'm using these superficial things, but these can be extrapolated to all ways in which you only speak in a group when you feel like you've got something valuable to say, or all of these ways we can extrapolate this. So what is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is that like we said in the description, is small y, capital OUR. Your story, small story, is our story. That's big picture. So whatever part of the story that you're expressing and experiencing, it's part of our story. It's not just your story. The story is our story. And if we do not know, or if we don't give ourselves the opportunity to express our part of our, small o going to our, We we rob the world, we rob reality of our part of our story. Our small me, part of our big the story, the idea that we are. We're gonna get them on. We're gonna get them on time. You got them. I can't see it on that little screen. With the cake coming epic. Yes, we rob the world. We rob reality of our part of our story. So our small me, not negative thing, of our of your our story. Your part of this intrinsic whole. So big picture is it's your y, small y, capital O-U-R. It's your story is our story. And if you don't share, if you hide in hermit mode, uh, whatever that may be, or if you polarize and only show the beautiful things and the amazing things, which is beautiful as well. You know, it's there, and there's real benefit of focusing on the good and focusing on what is beautiful. But if you solely focus on that and share that that is the only reality of human, again, there is benefit in that, and there is a definite purpose for that. You alienate yourself from the vast majority of the the human collective, and you rob them of the gift of your story. You rob them of the gift of the way in which you see the world, the way in which you've experienced the world. You rob the whole. You rob our. You take from the whole the gift that your life has given. And if you don't share your story in all ways, again, you don't. I'm using social media and story and videos and books and these sorts of things. This can be any of these. This can be in your community. This can be whenever you know. You can give the example of showing up when you don't feel at your best. You can give your example of um, sharing. Okay, I'll give some examples like sharing. Like I'm on here sharing these videos now, and I like hello. I can see. And I've worked for many years in this non-duality, multi-dimensionality. Books were channeled through me. I've guided people through mystery schools and online communities, and I feel anger, and I am impatient, and I'm selfish, and I'm lose my temper with my son, and I can be controlling with my wife. I not so much recently, but that I have a tendency to fall into like depressive and dark states. I can come off these videos where there's no ego involved in this, like act as a the person can watch it back at times. And there's like real deep wisdom and real deep um, stuff that comes through here that I would love to fully live up to, and I don't. Um, and that's fine, and that's perfect. But it's like I have no fear in sharing any of that. I just don't always do it now. I started out doing that. It's just because less and less it is like that. But that's not doesn't mean that it's not there. It's always there. There's always that depressive dark side. There's always that potential of anger or rage. There's always the potential of impatience is like pretty much guaranteed. There's always the acting, the person acting out the opposite of what is shared on these videos, what's shared in the blogs, what is shared in the channelings, what is shared in the book. So as a messenger, I am being the message more and more, but there's no way that I'm always the message. But I don't have the fear of sharing that anymore because I know that that is perfect. That is perfect. This that I'm. If you didn't see the video, imperfect. I'm perfect imperfection. I'm perfect imperfection. There's a video on YouTube and the other channels. I'm perfect imperfection talks about this, and so there's no fear in that now. But there was huge fear in that in the beginning. I remember the shaking and the quivering, and it's not because I've mastered it. I still have the feelings of. There is the feelings of unworthiness. There's the feelings of not living up to potential. There's the feelings of something missing. There's the addictive tendencies that have been moved from alcohol and drugs that have moved to internet and phones and technology. They have transferred. So I always say this 20-year journey of addictions. That's just alcohol, drugs. From 13 to 33, that was alcohol and drugs. Addictions have moved to phones, internet, technology. Hope that's it. No. And also an addiction to reading, spiritual stuff. Reading. There's an addiction. I have an addiction to reading. I am a reading addict. There's still social media addiction. There's still phone addiction. There's still internet addiction. So let's get that clear. I don't know if we're going to see this soul being, Son of God, come up today. It's a little bit cloudy. It is already up. So the sun is already up. The sun, and just because the clouds are there doesn't mean that it isn't. The moon was appearing there, but now there's clouds have covered that. This is a perfect analogy again as we stand here. Is that just because we can't see the being that's is polarized to that, sharing everything perfect. They wear their makeup perfect. Their clothes are perfect. They only show the perfect photographs. I need to post as I'm hearing this. I need to post some. If I'm going to share a photograph, I'm going to pick the worst, whichever one I think. The ego will want to put the best one, so I'm today going to find one where I look at the absolute weirdest and worst, and I'm going to post that today just to live this as I'm sharing. So kind of lost track there. Where were we? So the polarization to go to one side is like the perfect thing. So find a way to go out without your makeup on, go out with the bedhead, go out in public with your uh, clothes, the clothes that only your wife or your husband or your children see. uh, if you're polarized to hermit mode, hiding mode, don't ever share anything for fear or for feeling of. Find a way to share it in your own way, in your own unique way. How can you share your story of hermithood? How can you share your story of hiding? So that's coming in from the polarizations, and then so looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is your story is our story. There is only one story, and each of us have a unique part of that. And we are going to stay. If you do not share your story, and you do not share your gifts, and you do not share your ideas, and you do not share your unique perspective, you are robbing the whole of that gift. You are withdrawing your gift. And a gift that is withdrawn will be withdrawn from you. Not in truth. We never lose anything, but we will lose the experience of the gift that life has given us because we will hide it from ourselves because we are not here to hide it. We are here to live and give it. And again, this doesn't mean that writing books, doing videos, creating communities, it's not that. That's just the expression that this one knows. Your expression is unique. We saw a video last week about, we saw, yes, I saw a video. There was a video done through this one about that, about your unique gifts and your unique ways in which you can see the world, and the ways in which only you can give these gifts, and the ways in which only you are designed. Like literally, only you can express and give this gift that you're here to give. Only you. There's no one else in all of creation ever, in any dimension, in any planet, in any way. You are 100% a multi-dimensional snowflake, never to be repeated. And there's no requirement, as the Son of God appears through that cloud, there's no requirement to give it. And if you don't give it, you're taking it from yourself and the collective. So, however you are designed to be, however life has prepared you to be, we need to see that the fear of sharing our story is a lie. It's a lie that the little me is telling to yourself. The fear of sharing your ideas, the fear of being seen, staying in the middle, that middle way of it's fine to share a beautiful photograph of a beautiful moment. It's fine to be completely silent and withdrawn from the world, but be in the middle way to have the middle way as well as those things. The polarization is fine, but we want to be in that middle way more and more, where we can take bits of both and we can be completely fine being there. And whenever we feel the fear of sharing our story, sharing our ideas, sharing our unique gift with the world, however that appears for you, again, there's no one way. It can be so simple. It doesn't have to be, even though we're talking about public and hermit, it can be It's in the most simple things. It's in the everyday things. It's how you deal with your family. It's how you deal with anyone. It's how you write a letter. It's how you smile when or not. It's how, it's how you it's how you stand in your power, stand in your strength. Yeah, seagulls agreeing or disagreeing. It's how you show up in the world for yourself. Oh, he's flying. He just circled right overhead there. These birds. So I seen a comic one and I want to say, Katrina, birds flying high, you know how it feels. So now you want to share that feeling too. Yes, well listen. I gotta put it on. Get on there. There we go. Birds flying high, you know how it feels now. So now you want to share that feeling too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So find that middle way. Accept when you are polarized. See that there's gift in that. And find where you have not shared your story and there's a fear of sharing your story. Again, using sharing a story, again, it can be just sharing your gift, it can be sharing your wisdom, sharing an idea with one other person. It doesn't matter. Again, it's not, I'm just using the parameters that this one has had. You can show up for one other person in a way that no one else can. You can show up for, you can help someone that you never meet and you'll never know. You can do a random act of kindness, leave a mystery gift for someone that you'll never meet and you'll never know if it worked. There's so many ways in which we can give a gift that's not obvious. But if we do not give our gift, this is coming strong again. If we do not give our gift, we are taking our gift from the world and we are hiding our gift from ourselves. Again, absolute reality. There's nothing lost. There's nothing missing. There's nothing you can, you can't lose. There's no lack. There is only abundance. There is only everything. There is only allness. It is already so. It's already here. You cannot miss. You cannot get it wrong. And as the human, you can hide your gifts from the world and take the gifts from yourself, and mean that that we always have this continuous feeling of there's something missing, there's something wrong. And even if it's not continuous, we can have it we will have it more and more if we do not choose to give our gifts to the world, share our ideas with the world, share the way in which we're uniquely designed to be in the world. So, at 27, 47 seconds, 747, we shall leave it there, and I will think of ways in which I can live this and be this message, to share a photo that looks horrible. Say that's just a judgment, but I'm just going to use those examples and see where from that video. Firstly, seeing the journey from that first video of sharing my story in 2017 or whatever it was, where I was terrified and shaking, to now being completely and utterly 100% okay to share that I have channeled the book live, created a mystery school, helped so many people with breathwork and channeling and blah 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 blah, and I get angry and I get controlling and I get depressed and I feel lost and I can be all the things. And I have zero fear of that because I know it's perfection. There's parts of me that absolutely want that to change and to be more and more of the message. And the fullest part of me accepts that I'm perfect in perfection. I'm perfect in perfection. And the human will play out all of these things until it doesn't, and I'm okay with that. And I am totally okay and totally happy and totally free to share all of it, all of me. I have no fear of sharing all of my wounds, all of my darkness, because it's easy to share the beautiful thing. Come on. No one, well, no, that's not true. There is the light shadow thing as well as like the dull and the dark, so it's not true. It's not completely true, but it's true for more people that it would be easier for them to share. Well, put in the comments if I'm it's easier for you to share when things are going well, when you're looking well, when things is happening for you well, apparently, than it is when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling depressed. This is not absolutely true, but I think in a general sense, it's easier to share the positive than it is the negative. It's easier to share the uplifting than it is the lower side. But of course, there is that part of the light shadow as well, where you don't want to shine your light too bright. You don't want to make people feel less than by shining your light, or whatever that happens to be, or by owning your gifts, by owning your unique gift to the world. And again, in the same way, what we do not give to the world will be taken away from the world and hidden from us. So, this has been the fear of sharing your story and what you can be about it. And I shall. So, put in the comments below whenever you're watching this. Let us know, do you have a fear of sharing your story? Or maybe it's just this one. Do you find yourself on those polarizations? Hermit mode disappearing? Definitely find myself there. Opposite end, only sharing good things? Definitely find myself there. And where can you find that middle way of finding and knowing the bigger picture that your story is our story, and if you don't share our story is incomplete? And where can you find ways to be in that middle way and take yourself in from without making the polarizations bad or wrong? They're perfect. Perfect part. I'm perfect. Imperfection. Taking the parts of the polarizations and sharing them, and finding that middle way and being that middle way and being the bigger picture, and sharing and shining and showing the loss and the heartache, and not trying to create this false persona, this false mask, especially on social media, but in life in general, that I can only show up when I'm a certain way. I can be who I am because I am who I am, and your story is our story. Until next time, from my heart to yours, the divine in me sees, loves, and honors the divine in you. Namaste. We are CF333 today.